Hi friends, welcome to a new vlog. If you're new here, my name is Mackenzie, also known as Emtothethird, and primarily I do knitting content. I run a small business where I naturally dye yarn, but this vlog is a little bit different. One of my goals for the new year was to create a little bit more friction in my life. And I love clothes, I love style, and I have not sewn a garment in a while. It just hasn't been a priority, space, time, etc. But I saw a new sewing pattern called the Petal dress. I will show it to you here. And I just was like, I want to make that. I want to sew it. It's going to be cute. I really want to do that. So I decided that this weekend, that is my goal. I'm going to be sewing myself a petal dress. And we're getting started today. So today I actually have a friend date and we're going to go fabric shopping. Now I have some stash fabric. I don't know what the vision is yet. There's definitely some versions that I really like. But I kind of just want to see where the wind takes me. So we're gonna go shopping today, and then hopefully tonight I can wash and dry the fabric. And then I'm hoping that my pattern will be printed out tomorrow. I'm having it printed at a local fabric store that does A0 printing, like the big print shop printing. And then hopefully we'll get it cut out and, one thing after the other. So I've got a bunch of Goodwill donations and some returns in the back. We're just gonna basically hang out and do some errands together and work on the petal dress. So should be a fun weekend. Thanks for joining me. And yeah, so I'm gonna head to work for a little bit, which is a local yarn store here in Portland, Oregon called Starlight Knitting Society. We're gonna do a little bit of photography, a little bit of social media, and then we're gonna go fabric shopping. So it should be a nice day. It is a very unusual February day because the sun is out, and I believe it's gonna be 60 later. So we'll probably also have to slate in a little dog walk this afternoon. So yes, should be a fun day, and let's get going. Okay, hi. Welcome to the floor of my office where I have my fabric stash in these bins back here. We went to the Mill End store, which is fairly close to where I work. We send people there a lot for buttons. And the thing is, you saw in the video, it is a huge store, but there's not a lot of okay, hi, come here. Hi. You saw how big the store is. But unfortunately, their fabrics are just not what I like to make with. I like natural fibers. It's really important to me in terms of temperature regulation and comfort, and also longevity, because I feel like synthetic fabrics hang on to odors, hang on to stains. So I really like linen blends, even like rayon, cotton, and they just like have a lot of synthetics, which is fine, but not what I really want to make a dress out of. I did see one rayon that I really liked, but I just didn't really feel like that was what I wanted a dress out of right now. So yeah, I had fun. It was a good time, but now I'm home, and before I go anywhere else or like think of anything else, I want to look through my fabric stash because I really have not been sewing much, and I think I probably have some options in here. I just don't know if I have like enough yardage. So yeah, let's take a look at some options. Well, I do have this like green crinkle cotton, and I think I have quite a bit of this. So I think this is probably an option. So this is like from Joann's. I think the issue, yeah, is that it got sun bleached along this line. So when I unfold it, you can kind of see. So I don't know how much of this I have and if I'd be able to cut out around that like sun bleached part. But that might be one of the only ones that I have like enough of. Okay, so that's one option. I really don't think I have enough yardage in anything else. I mean, I could always, I mean, I've seen people doing like patchwork kind of dresses, but like, I don't know, like I love this fabric. I think I got this as a trade, but I don't think there's very much of it. First of all, I have this like chambray, which is probably, honestly, probably a pretty good option. It will be versatile, but I think this also got a little sun bleached maybe. Have to open that up and investigate. I have this like beautiful wool plaid, but I don't think, like, I'm thinking more springy than winter, and I've always wanted to turn this into pants at some point. So there's that. There's this orange polka dot, which is kind of cute, but I know what project I bought this for, and I don't think there's going to be enough yardage. And then lastly, I have this fabric. It's a rayon. I thought it was interesting. I was trying to get stuff that like had prints on it just for like some interest, and to be honest, I don't know. Like honestly, some of this I'm like, I feel like I should just donate or something. But I have these three options, potentially very different from one another. I think this is the one that feels like it makes the most sense to me. But I think what I should do is measure them out, see how much of them I have. I think I will probably also just like look at the fabric at like the bougie fabric store when I go to pick up my printed pattern. I think this one is the one that makes the most sense to me right now. So again, I will maybe wash this and then see where we're at. Should we go on a walk? Should we go on a walk? Let's go on a walk. Yeah, good girl. Okay. Okay, I want to take a quick pause from the video to thank the sponsor, which is Craftsy. Craftsy is an online community of makers and crafters where you can find over 2,000 exciting classes in a number of popular categories. Some of the classes offered are in knitting and crochet, of course, but also quilting, sewing, painting, drawing, cooking, baking, cake decorating, just to name a few. I have personally found Craftsy helpful in advanced knitting techniques like the hand knit garment design course offered by Shirley Payton. But if you're a knitter who is interested in trying your hand at sewing, there's also some excellent offerings for you at Craftsy. I'm personally excited to browse some of their photography and videography classes, as I'm always trying to improve on these specific skills to make my YouTube videos stronger. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative, and I'm so excited to share that the first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for less than $1.50. This offer is valid to new members only. Thanks again to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. Now back to the vlog. Hi guys. So I had a much more successful shopping trip. In fact, I had to whittle it down from 2 options to 1, so I'm excited about that. But because I picked up Zoe to come with me, I'm on this side of town, which is where one of my favorite breakfast burrito places is, and it's almost lunchtime, so I'm like I'm heading over there so that I hope I get there before noon so I can get a breakfast burrito. If not, they also have a very, very good chile relleno burrito. So regardless of which one I get, a burrito sounds great for lunch. And then I'm gonna head home, wash the fabric, and also do a little bit of organizing in the basement. And then we'll see how far we get today with cutting out the pattern. So that's the plan for right now. Sorry, that doesn't help. So yeah, let's go get a burrito. So I thought I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and so afterwards I was gonna go pick up the printed pattern and look around at some fabric, but I got a message this morning that it was canceled. So rescheduled, and then I was like, well, Zoe, do you want me to pick you up and we could just run to Bolt, do a little shopping? And she was like, yes. Okay, great. So headed over to Bolt, and of course they have really beautiful apparel fabrics, linens, natural fibers, just like totally my bread and butter. So we were looking around, and there were 2 that I really liked. One was this 100% linen gingham that I'll show you, and then the other one was also, why is it focusing on that and not me? Hi, it's me. Focus on me, camera. Me, hello, my face. Really? What are we doing? Okay. So we went and looked around, and yes, that linen gingham was really calling to me, but I didn't really feel like I wanted to do it in 100% linen. You know, yeah, I just didn't. So I looked around a little bit more, and I found this. It is a perfectly mauve gingham. And it's like a double gauze. It's very soft and lovely. So this is, and also like it looks great with this color of my cardigan. So I'm gonna go downstairs into my basement, and I'm gonna wash actually both of these. I wanna look a little bit more at this chambray, and then this. So that is the current plan. And I also told myself that I would, every time I go down to the basement, to take one thing from the pile of donations up to the car, because it's just getting a little overwhelming. And actually I work very close to a Goodwill. So tomorrow when I go and teach my class, I can just stop and drop off the donations. So we're gonna go start a load of laundry. We're gonna go take a load of crap up to the car, And then I want to clear off my living room table because that is where I am planning on cutting out all the fabric pieces. So yeah, that's the plan for the next little bit, but we're rocking and rolling, and I'm very excited about both of these options. And like, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna make two, but like, I don't know, it feels like a possibility, you know? Okay, let's go wash some fabric. Okay, this is the first chance I have to try it on, but it's looking very cute so far. And I think it's gonna fit fine. Yeah, there we are. The bodice is all put together. Looks very cute. So there we are. I'm just like so into this fabric too. It's not looking right on my camera, but hopefully I can adjust the color so that you can kind of see. But it looks like it's gonna hit at the right spot. There we go. So,
Oh, we picked the same sweater vest.
Oh my god.
What do you think it means?
Boston. Oh, you know, I think it means we were meant to be or something.
That's right, we both walked over there and we got our matching sweater vests.
But we weren't looking at each other, so we
weren't even
didn't
looking.
know.
It's like our minds were reading each other.
We're reading each other.
French.
Oh, well, I think this means that we should be friends.
hi. It is a few days later. I really, truly thought that I could finish this over the weekend, but it's Tuesday. And I have made very good friends with my seam ripper, as it goes. So part of it is I was a little confused by the instructions, and part of it is also just like that I'm getting my sea legs back with sewing because I haven't really made a garment in like a while. So here's where we're at. The way that this is supposed to be constructed is that you have like your bodice piece and then you attach the skirt and then you like attach both of the bodices with the skirts attached together. But because there's written instructions for how to like assemble the bodice to try it on before you like assemble the entire dress, I was a little confused and I thought that you were supposed to start with the bodice, which is how a lot of dresses that are in this style are put together, except obviously because of this like curve, which is like the main feature of this dress, it ends up behaving a little bit different. So right now, this is like kind of a hot mess because not only did I like have to unpick the bodice, I was like, okay, going from there, which this looks really cute, by the way. Like, I'm very excited for it, but you know, but also I had sewn these two shoulder seams together and I had like twisted it. So I've just been encountering a lot of like kind of silly mistakes that I then have to fix, and I'm not done with it. Meanwhile, why I wanted to get it done over the weekend is because I am mordanting like all of the yarn that I'm trying to have dyed for the Rose City yarn crawl this next month. So I've been like deep in my dye studio, getting some yarn prepped to be dyed. So there's just a lot going on, okay? All right. So, yeah, anyway, this is taking longer than I thought, which is fine. Like, it's not by any means like the end of the world, but just, I've just feel a little backed up on all of these things that I wanted to do anyway, because I've had like some medication changes and I really spent the first like couple weeks of the month nauseous, and now I'm not as nauseous and able to do things, and I just wish that they were not taking as long as I thought they would. So yeah, that's what's going on. So here she is, my finished petal dress. I am happy, but not thrilled, but I think it's mostly user error. So let me talk about it. I am like trying to be conscious of not being too harsh, okay? Because obviously it's wearable. I'm excited to style it. I love the fabric, like it will be in my wardrobe. However, I'm not sure if, like, there's two things that I think may have happened. One, I think I might have chosen a size too big, because what's happening is that this is falling quite a lot. And then also I can just tell by the way other people's fit that, like, it's just this piece, I want it to be higher. So I did decide there's two bodices. One is supposedly for like a CD cup and it has a dart. And so I sort of assumed that I would need that one. However, I think like Claire of Pearlwise and I have been sewing this together and she did not do the CD cup. And I think that going forward, I would go with that bodice without the dart, and I think that that would definitely help. Also, I just got confused with the instructions. So there was like the whole bit about like basting basically the bodice together to make sure it fits, but like the way that it was written, I just thought that they wanted us to like assemble it. So I assembled it and then I was like, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. So aside from just having to go in with a seam ripper and like undo all of that, I also missed the like stay stitching, which is basically doing a basting stitch around the curve so that they don't stretch out. So again, I'm not sure if it was my lack of stay stitching, if it was picking the wrong size, picking the wrong bodice thing, or a combination of all three that has made this kind of like lower than, like the bodice in general, lower than I want it to be. So my pockets are like pretty low. They're not unusable. But so last night when I was like finishing the hem and everything, I did sew the shoulders, sewed them deeper so that it pulled it up, and I do like that better, but it's still not perfect. But I'm trying not to be like too harsh on myself, because I feel like that is the number one way to like stop doing things. Like I see it all the time with knitting. I haven't really had like a knitting fail in a long time, and I don't say that to be like I'm amazing, but like I just have way more experience knitting. So with sewing, especially when I haven't done it for a couple of years, there's things I'm gonna forget, and I like was remembering as I was going, and like I'm just not the strongest sewist, and yet if I had like spent as much time sewing as I have knitting, it would be a different experience. So again, I'm trying not to be too harsh on myself, but I am aware that that has, you know, that affects like the finished object. But yeah, all in all, I got a lot of compliments on it when I wore it to knit night the other night. I did wear it to knit night without it being hemmed. That's okay. But to wrap this video up, I did want to style it in a couple of different ways. Yeah, just to kind of show you how I plan to wear it. Again, I love the fabric. I find it's just very cute. It's very me. And like, I'm excited to sew maybe one or two more to add to my wardrobe, because it's just a very cute, very easy dress to wear. Yeah, so let me put on the second fit. If you've been here on my channel for a while, you've definitely seen this sweater. This is my sweater. I love her a lot, in Blood Orange by Knitting for Olive. And I frequently pair it with these boots, even though they're not quite the same shade. But I thought this would look really cute, and of course I dig it. I thought that maybe you'd be able to see more of like the detail, but you can kind of see it in the side. So I, kind of an unconventional color combo perhaps, but I really like it. Also, my phone, as I'm looking at this recording, is like this mauve-y color, and then I have a sticker that's in this bright orange, so I guess it's not that surprising that I would pair them together. So yeah, like just like styled like this I think is really cute, but I really think that like having a shirt underneath, there's a lot of options to like explore there, especially with kind of unconventional color options. Try that. Honestly, not 100% sure that I love this, but we had to try a maximalist kind of vibe. I do really like this like sort of slinky top under it. I think that's very cute, but I thought I would pair it with my very loose cute pants, my half and half pants from Nettle Studios, and maybe a bit much, all of it together. But I could definitely see having some pants or jeans on under it with just like a t-shirt. I think that would be very cute. So that's it. That's the video. I hope you had fun with me going from optimistic to a little not optimistic, and then like back up. I don't know. Thank you again to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. Remember, the first 1,000 people to use the link down below will get a full year membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. So please check that out, and I will see you next time. Bye.